formation with Dan and Shisha up top. What did you see from that? And again, how important is getting that first goal for you guys?
The first goal was really important. I think, the intention of our group was to come out with just a different level of intensity and a little bit more directness at the start, like I said. So I thought that got us going. I thought our guys were sprinting right off the bat. I think sometimes we've had a couple home games where we've been so calculated at the start that we haven't really gotten ourselves going until we were down a goal. And so the intention tonight was really to try to spur our energy on without necessarily really exposing ourselves, but through playing forward more and getting the ball to our front guys a little faster, could we build a little bit more intensity and speed into the game. So I thought that was really important. As far as the two strikers, I think it worked out on the attacking side for sure. I think we suffered a little bit defensively over the course of the game, just trying to manage their three-man build-out and getting our collective movement at the same time just meant that we were either a little late or stuck or whatever, which meant you defend in numbers. You get guys behind the ball, you condense spaces, you move people around, and as I said to the guys, everybody did whatever they had to do in this game to defend, because I felt and we made a little we had to make an adjustment earlier in the game because of a player issue, and so our preparation for the game ended up being different, and we had to make that change today, which I've never felt like we really settled into an efficient defending posture. We kind of defended in numbers, and so and we did a nice job of that, and credit to the guys for the commitment to break out in the transition and to get guys going forward in the transition, because that's where we really punished them at the end of the day, was in the transition, because we didn't have large stretches of possession like we normally do at home. And I think some of that has to do with two forwards, but maybe punishing them the way we did has a little bit to do with two forwards too, right? So it's what I said before, it's a balancing act sometimes when you play with two forwards.
And with Dany Gearys as well, I know you were talking about him after the Minnesota game.
Yeah.
You see him come into this game, puts in a great backdoor pass to Julian.
Yeah.
What have you seen from him, and have you been impressed with his play?
I have. Look, Daniel he's a cool customer. I mean, the guy's emotion never changes since day one when he came in as a college kid from Riverside, and we didn't know who he was, and I threw him in to play right back in a preseason game because whoever was playing right back at the time was getting skinned by somebody in Kansas City, and he came into right back, which isn't even his position, and just locked it down and we're like, who's this kid? Like, he just stepped into that and was dealing with a very good right back or right winger, left winger, and just closed it down. He's always been cool. So every day he shows up, he does the work, he does what he has to do. He's versatile, he can play different roles because he's a cerebral player. And for me, it's just part of it is continuing to give him moments to build trust with him within the group, so that we know he's connected with the group and he can give us what he can on a consistent basis. And he certainly has done that in his opportunities, especially in these last two games. But I think always in his opportunities, he's very solid. And today we played him in a slightly different role because we put him a little bit wider and to try to help us again defensively, but also to just try to give us a little bit possession. And he slips in a nice little backdoor ball that I think unlocks the game a little bit for us. That makes it 3-0, right? So that's an important goal. So I'm really pleased with Daniel. I know he was probably disappointed he didn't start today because of the performance. I thought he had a nice solid performance last game, but I also felt like we needed a little bit of size and Ryan to help defend in set pieces, because they're a big team, and so, but he did a great job when he came in.
Greg, two quick ones over here. Things are so reactionary after wins, after losses. We sat here not too long ago after the Sacramento game and talked a little bit about mentality. And you kind of mentioned the advantage you guys came in with today, but what do you see personally from the team in showing that fight and showing that mentality to come out? I mean, you guys don't play too much Eastern opposition, but the team that's been playing really well, up on the table, and you guys obviously have a big game coming up. Like, how does that mental just get focused from Monday on or from the weekend on to perform like that today?
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, it's something that I, from a personal standpoint as the leader of this team, have to check on myself, because I'm a coach, I'm a tactician sometimes, and I'm a teacher in the way I do things, and sometimes I have to remind myself that I have to help provide the team with some intensity. So I try to come in and drive this group a little bit more today in terms of the way I approach them. Yesterday was probably the most intense day before game training that we've had the entire year. I don't even think it's a question, it is. Which brought in some intensity today, and a little bit for me is to keep is to remind myself so that I can also push that into the team. The team doesn't become overly analytical and like trying to think through things too much, but really also is driving. Today was a result based off of intensity, hard work, right? Dedication, doing what you need to do, and executing on the transition when we needed to. It wasn't necessarily a game of tactical superiority on the day. It was a game where the guys just put it in and they got the job done. Sometimes that's the way the game plays out.
And I gotta ask, I don't know if you're able to either replay it or just your reaction to Sacha's assist in that moment and how you lived that.
Yeah, that was class. I asked him if he meant it or if he was just trying to clear the ball to play forward so we could forecheck. But no, he saw it. He meant it. We've missed Sash because he just brings cool, calm, and collected, smart, clean, tactically aware player and some leadership to our group that we've missed him. So to get him back out there and going again tonight was really big for our group in general, and it was nice to see him impact the game in that way as well.
Your thoughts as they go to VAR and Dayon just picks up the ball and starts taking it to the spot?
Yeah, I mean Dayon is as confident as they come when the striker, he hits those things after training just about every day when training ends. He's confident about it. I've seen him do it time and time again in training, and a couple in I think it was the Open Cup game. So I was confident when the ball was in his hands. For me, I'm just never really confident what call is gonna come out of that. But I was more confident in Dayon's ability to pick his spot and put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, this was one of those games where, I mean, sometimes you've had games where things just haven't gone your way, and today the ball bounced your way.
Yeah, I think, sometimes that happens when you just put in the work, maybe. Sometimes that happens because it's football and things can go either way, and because there's human beings involved in the games and things can go different ways. But today, I think just the honest effort, the collective effort, the commitment, the intensity, all those things were there, and maybe we earned a little bit more in the way of bounces. We earned a little bit more of the blue collar results on that side of things, right? Because look, the harder you work, the more breaks you tend to get, I think, and so maybe we just worked our way through that tonight.
To get that kind of effort, to get that kind of performance, and to get this kind of result, what does it mean going into Friday with as big a game as that is?
Yeah, I think it's really big just because the challenging results we've had over the last few games and where I think coming out of the international break that was really long, where we just hadn't clicked the way we were right before. So I think to have just a hard, intense, committed effort today is going to be what it's going to take against a team like LAFC. They're a good team, so you also gotta sometimes do whatever you have to do in that game, out-compete, out-battle, out-fight, because it's a derby, but at the same time you got to play some good soccer, and you got to try to control the game, because they got players who can hurt you if you give them too much of the ball and too much time. So tactically we got to execute a little cleaner against a team like LAFC, but we have to come out with the same mentality, same intensity. I think that's where we were able to set the bar in the last game when we played them here. I thought we came out with a nice tempo to what we're doing and a nice presence about what we're doing. That needs to happen again, especially on the road.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, thanks.